Hello, my name is Kyle Rumps. I am a current MBA student here at the University of Denver, and today is my second day of South by Southwest. For my second session of the day, I had the pleasure of going to the Showrunners Funny AF panel, which featured three prominent NBC showrunners, notable for shows such as Superstore, 30 Rock, The Bee in Apartment 23, and many, many other television shows. So, this was actually one of my favorite panels that I got the pleasure of attending this entire conference thus far. It didn't go into necessarily the business aspects of things. However, they did dive into what makes something funny and how do people truly connect with something, as well as just the show running process, the writing process, taking a idea to a piece of paper, that piece of paper to executives, then getting notes, doing rewrites, and eventually, hopefully, getting a television show. So, obviously, this doesn't necessarily connect perfectly with my career aspirations, but I did still find it incredibly enlightening into the process. Um, they spoke about things such as when writing, they like to pull from either personal experiences earlier in their life or anecdotes and stories that others may share with them. And almost all of them universally agreed that they did not want to be pulling inspiration from other works because of the risk of accidentally internalizing ideas or copying someone else's work, which I actually thought was quite refreshing. Um, they discussed, how to break into the writing world, and most of their advice boiled down to just leverage any and all opportunities, say yes to everything, get yourself in the room, whether that's being an assistant or maybe a smaller grunt work position, and just proving that you're the right person for that job, and hey, you're funny too, so you can be a writer. I actually thought that the parallels between this and just searching for an internship, which I'm doing right now, is pretty similar. Just trying to take any opportunity, saying yes to any extra work, and just proving yourself within the fire, so to speak. They, pardon me. They also discussed how they approach a pitch and things that they may do to, get ready for a pitch. Some of these included, just dancing, psyching themselves up. But a lot of it boiled down to simply preparation, making sure that you're super prepared, making sure that you understand these characters, and speaking to the characters and situations in a way that breathes life into them rather than just going through the bullet points of what you think this show might look like at a high level. Um, they then went on to discuss, once you've gotten a pitch, you get notes from the studios or executives and kind of their different approaches to dealing with notes. A lot of this ended up boiling down to finding the subtext to what the note is. Someone may give you a note and tell you, what they might do to change it, but it's the writer's job, it's the person receiving the note's job to really boil this down to what was their issue, what is it about this particular sketch or joke or idea that didn't resonate with them, and how can I use that information to make it better. Funnily enough, they actually spoke about the fact that although notes might be annoying to them, almost always it does improve the overall product as well as just hones their craft through many, many rewrites. I took this as a parallel to my own experience in school and business, which is, you're always going to get advice, whether it be from professors or managers, but they might not always articulate exactly what it is they're looking for. And it's up to you to figure out what it is about what you did that is lacking or maybe needs to be beefed up. And being able to just see the subtext, because a note at the end of the day is really just someone saying this didn't work, and they might not be able to describe why that is for them. Uh, Finally, they touched on the fact that great executives know their roles and know that their role is to support a showrunner and elevate their idea for the respective audience. And I enjoyed what they were saying about the fact that this really is, in the best partnerships, a partnership. The writers come with creative ideas, the executives come with more practical ideas, and finding somewhere in the middle where they can make a product that does justice to the original art while also appealing to broader audiences so that they can generate a return. Um, One other thing that they did mention was the changing landscape of television, particularly due to streaming. And I was very surprised to hear that many of them actually liked doing streaming shows more a lot of the time. I would have been of the opinion that, a broadcast television show would be more interesting to a writer as you get more episodes and a more strict schedule to be following, which allows you to maybe dive deeper into things. However, they pointed to the fact that with streaming, you are forced to be a little bit more serialized and having a common thread throughout the entire show rather than more episodic things. But they also touched on the fact that in streaming, you don't have ads, so you don't have a time constraint that a broadcast show may have. And that ends up being the difference of about 7 minutes in a TV show. And so that extra time allows them to, add that extra joke that they really loved or dig into a character a little bit deeper. So overall, I thought that it was really interesting looking into their processes and how they think about their writing and their industry as a whole. And although it didn't have, direct business applications, I did feel that there were parallels that could be drawn upon that did inform, my own approach to business, to school, to making connections, to working in partnerships, and many other things. And finally, it was a fun video, or fun panel to sit through. They were all hilarious, and I was laughing and sitting on the edge of my seat for the most of it, and very engaged. So very much enjoyed it and thought it was one of the better panels I had the fortune of sitting through. Thank you for joining me.